connected to server, and connected to server. Wicked. There we go. Right, yes, sorry, you were going to say.
I was going to say, yeah, I didn't know that it went forward until it was mentioned in the chat.
Yes. Daylight savings
That's how
time.
oblivious I was. Yeah, that's how oblivious I was to it.
Yes. I almost missed it myself, but luckily...
Does that mean we got an extra hour in bed?
No, I think we lost one.
Oh, okay.
Because the clocks went forward, therefore the amount of time you would have spent in bed has been one less, because what would have been an 8 o'clock, waking up at 8 o'clock turned out to be 9 o'clock waking up, so, yeah. There you go. Connie and I are nearly there, being thwarted by Discord updates. Oh dear.
Oh. Hello?
Hello.
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 Sorry about the delay.
Quite alright.
Yeah, Connie's right behind me as well.
What's she doing right behind you? Has she got a knife?
Lurking.
Quick, check if she's got a knife. Not that I'm suggesting Connie would ever do that.
No, I don't know what you mean. Everything's fucked.
Very good.
Chris.
Connie, what have you done? Oh, look, there she is. Quick, before she...
I'm waiting for this review. You can't.
Oh, thanks, man.
Hello! Right, I'm getting the impression that since Liz is in a different time zone from us entirely, and most of us forgot about this whole daylight savings time shenanigans, that our first officer may be slightly late as a result. And we've also lost our chief security officer as a result of him being required elsewhere. Which, I don't know.
Can I apologise for having a social life last Sunday?
Yeah. I know social lives and role-playing games don't always go together all that frequently, but in this case apparently they did. Twice. But me to complain in any regard about anything to do with that would be entirely hypocritical of me, so I'm going to stay stum.
No, don't worry, I watched a YouTube video, mate, I heard you.
If all else fails, there's always YouTube, yes.
Yes.
Stream on demand.
Right. Speaking of, whilst folks are busy signing in then, I will turn off the ship rumble and I will get us to our intro video to give folks time. So, we'll be back in a few moments, folks. Stay tuned, and we shall see you all in a couple of moments. Hello folks, welcome along to the continuing adventures of the USS Combs. I am MJ the GM and I will be your games master for the next 3 hours or so. With me are most of the Combs crew. Not all. I blame daylight savings time. Quite frankly.
It's confusing. I spent this morning far too long trying to work out what time is
time.
Why don't we just set the clocks to half an hour between those 2 hours that we keep fluctuating between, and it'll be settled right there.
When you said day, I thought you were going to say I blame David. I was,
That was my next comment, but you know.
Oh, okay. I was going to go cry in the corner. But I'm okay.
Lies, you're impervious to it by now, surely.
I am, yes.
Yes.
Sorry, Tavish. We may have bought the ship shields.
You've made what?
We did an oopsie, and the shields took a ding.
Yes.
What have you done to my shields?
A scan had a bad roll.
And you've done something to my shields. You've done something to my ship.
One of the Combs' shield generators has been blown out, and therefore the Combs has one less shields for the time being, until that's properly repaired at the starbase.
I am really disappointed.
We won't say whose fault it was. That'll be part of an official investigation later on, no doubt. But
was it Tavish's fault?
I can't remember who rolled that.
I don't either, actually. As it turns out, there was so many calamities that went on. I'm having trouble remembering who was responsible for which. But never mind.
I should have been here last week. I shouldn't have done the social stuff.
Well, now you've learned your lesson.
Yeah, I've learned my lesson.
You can join my club, which is the Never Go Out Again club.
Yay!
Nevertheless, a couple of things to plug, as per usual. We have Mr. Powell's Utter Crisp. We are still looking very much forward to your next video. Until then, we've got all of these listed here for those who are watching the stream.
Yes, thank you very much. Same as usual for me. Just I do my fun retro review YouTube channel. I've got a bit of a backlog. Feel free to check those out. My Yakuza 0 video is coming soon. TM.
And if Mr. Bell were here, he would want you to know to keep looking out for Solarity for the time being. The more views they get, the better chance they get to come back. And of course, Chris also appears as a voice in the following YouTube audio drama, Midwinter, so give it a check out if you really, fancy supporting small studios. Now, something I realised that I haven't plugged enough is somebody else's work, which was this marvellous fellow called Owen Davis. And I'm going to give the link to my crew here, just so they know what I'm talking about. And yes, someone's going to need to share their screen so that Dave can actually see what's going on. But I don't know how many folks here, present with us right now, are familiar with a certain mini-movie, an interactive Star Trek movie that was made quite some time ago called Star Trek Borg. You can't actually see it, but it is the original is on my shelf right behind me, back there. It was an old PC game, which wasn't really a game, it was an interactive story. It was basically a Star Trek episode, a really long Star Trek episode with a lot of like QuickTime events. And of course it's quite an old game and cannot run on most modern PCs anymore, but some bright spark called Owen Davis, sounds Welsh, so I'm not surprised. He's a brilliant man. Okay, I'll stay off of that. But nonetheless, he's gone ahead and remastered all the video of Star Trek Borg, posted it on YouTube in an interactive manner, so that you yourselves can now explore the mastery that is Star Trek Borg. It's basically John Delancey as Q owning the entire show, but that's what makes it so damn fun. This mini-game also, or interactive movie I should say, also has the first instance of assimilation by the Borg before before even Star Trek First Contact came around. So, watch it if just for that. But if anything, watch it for John Delancey as Q, because that's all you need to know. In any case, that was my fanboy frothing over that. I swear to you, I am done for now. Now then, I notice not everybody is currently signed in. Connie and Mark are. We are, of course, missing a Dave due to technical issues, but a Chris.
Hey, Chris is on the way. My apologies.
Cool. We are still without our first officer as well. Sorry, what was that, Mark?
Oh, hopefully someone has to share my screen, and I hope you can see it.
Dave.
Oh, it was Dave. Yeah.
Mark sharing the screen. Can you see everything? Yep.
Yes, I can see. Yes.
I'm in.
Like Flynn. I'm thinking in like Flynn came from Tron, maybe? But I could be wrong. Okay, so, unless there's anything else anybody else wants to bring up, any questions or comments or things they would like to plug, I'm going to go with no with that stunted silence, so I'm just going to knock off these extra videos there. So, what happened last week? Well then, the Combs was given the task of investigating the Madrigal System, which had a sudden gravimetric disturbance was detected by Narendra Station's Science Division, and so the Combs was sent to investigate it. This was obviously interesting for many reasons, science being the most of them, but the fact that these gravimetric disturbances happened very, very recently, as opposed to the kind of things that build up over time in the natural world, or natural universe, I should say. And when the Combs got there, they discovered that the area was replete with some kind of interference that basically knocked out the power of their ship. But moreover, when they scanned a certain artificial satellite, let's say, that was when their ship system interference became really bad. And they had to do everything from restarting the warp core safety systems all over again to turning on life support and everything else after a massive system reset. Which, of course, they managed. And eventually managed to get themselves over to this artificial satellite, which definitely appears to be the same kind of technology that you have witnessed before in the Shackleton Expanse. An entirely different application, but nonetheless very, very similar technology and power output and material composition. This artificial satellite was sitting on the edge of the gravimetric or should I say subspace anomaly in the middle of the Madrigal System. And with a bit of rejigging of your science and sensor equipment, you were able to determine that it is sending out a pulse, or a wave, I should say, of energy into the anomaly, which was seemingly keeping it open. And, of course, there was the issue that as soon as the away team, who went on the Gweacher to investigate this artificial satellite, started scanning the systems of the satellite, it seemed to activate a secondary system that increased power of this energy wave going, or energy stream I should say, going out to the anomaly, and therefore increased the gravimetrical disturbances going off, which was drawing the satellite in towards the anomaly. You guys had just managed to stop this from happening when all of a sudden a very familiar dark unmarked ship turned up. Not only did this black ship turn up, it parked itself close to the anomaly and then itself started emitting a very similar energy wave towards the anomaly, which basically restarted the widening of the anomaly and the increased gravitational waves coming out of it, and that's where we find ourselves now. So, just for posterity's sake, I will mind, folks, that currently your crew's xenoarchaeologist, Lieutenant Turin, is on the satellite along with Phlesc, Garrow, Sot, and Tavish. But Hopkins and Gerkow are currently on the Guicha as it's trailing the satellite, ready to beam the away team on the satellite out at a moment's notice. But, of course, now the black ship has appeared, and, well, things are looking weird. So, let's go to...
I know what I want to try.
Alright then. So, starting things off then, what's your idea then, Mark?
Alright, so it's reasonable to assume that this thing is more powerful than that ship, because this is a gigantic power source, which I can't take, unfortunately.
It's rather big, yes.
And it's a shame that the anti-grav sled isn't that powerful.
Strange, that.
We've managed to use, what's her name? Lieutenant Turin, to understand how to reduce the power.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if we can reverse it to either close, cancel out, or just stop drifting towards the anomaly. Because they've boosted it. This satellite is also
into reverse.
Boosting it. I want to put it in reverse, and if that's successful, bump the power up so you see what happens.
Okay.
First stop it, dragging everyone towards it, and then increase the power if they increase power, and then if it starts to close the anomaly, close it.
Okay then.
That's the plan. There's loads.
Anybody else got any plans they'd like to try then?
No, I'm good with this plan.
You good with this?
Same.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, at the moment, Gerkow and Hopkins are in the Guichan just looking at what's going on, but I'm assuming that comms are staying open so that you can communicate with each other and are communicating with each other these ideas. So what I'm going to do is... got a beep. What was the beep? Anybody else here?
Oh, sorry, that was me.
Oh, easy. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
Thank God I thought an alert had come up on my... This computer will self-destruct. Alright, so the crew on the satellites are trying to see if they can find a way of reversing the flow and boosting the power. So what's likely needed is to try and find this control room is... The control room you're currently in is fine on its own, but if you want to tinker with the power, you probably need to get down into the guts of this satellite and try and find where the actual like energy regulators and stuff are in order to throw the thing into reverse. So you're going to need to have a good old cast around to see if you can find some kind of access point or some means of going deeper into the mechanism. So anybody who wants to can maybe try and use a control and engineering test with a tricorder to find where a suitable access point would be.
I think Tavish should probably lead it. And
Yeah, control engineering with a focus in power systems.
Yes, that would sound adequate.
I can assist. Tavish, you want to take a momentum as well? Because that'll be
That's a good
3,
point.
4.
Excuse me, guys, I have to reload. You guys can
We've
carry
only
on.
got, how many? We've got 5. We've got 5 momentum. How is Dr. Sot's control and engineering?
Engineering 2, control 9. Turin.
Yeah, not the best.
10 and 2, so Turin's winning. And then
Garrow
is 10. Garrow is the best. 10 and 3.
Well, yeah. Let's get Garrow in on this.
Yeah, so that's all of our dice then. I'll
Alright then,
assist.
so
Yeah.
You'll roll 3, me and Garrow roll 1, and I've got Parent
So,
figure ready and
Mr.
waiting.
Powell, if you could be Garrow for me, please.
Absolutely.
Spiffing. So these are control and engineering tests, anything to do with power systems as a focus, if they've got any.
Power
Tavish
systems,
is rolling
yeah.
2, everybody else is rolling 1.
No, Tavish rolling 3. She can.
Tavish is
take
rolling
momentum.
3 using momentum, so yeah. So, Mark, you're at the helm with helping Dave do stuff at the moment, I'm afraid, so...
Oh, okay. Yep. Bam. So
Yeah,
I'll
I can't do stuff.
Dave,
Alright,
reach your mind out through the connection into Mark's brain at just a moment there. Control his appendages. That was close.
And then control engineering with a focus. 3 dice. Come on, Tavish. Come on.
Will it into being. Will it!
Boom!
4 successes. Makes for 5 overall. Bush. Alright. The power core in this satellite is radiating so much energy that the power conduits that go through it are practically alight with energy. So it's a case of, let's look for an energy source. Whoa, okay, right down that way. And there's a conduit right there. So you find an access port and are able to follow it. Now, luckily for you, the maintenance access is large enough to fit you down one at a time, even in EVA suits. So, gosh, let's get you all down there. Daisy. So you find yourself in a you find yourselves down further into the guts of the satellite, and you eventually come upon an area that looks very much like some kind of, well, you hope, control center of some sort. Of more pressing importance, of course, is the giant metallic orb in the middle that seems to be the core thrumming with barely contained power. There are very precipitous... there are walkways that kind of hover over a rather precipitous gap going straight down, so anyone who's afraid of heights is finding themselves a bit giddy at the moment as they look way, way down. But nonetheless, there appear to be 2 control centers. It's possible you need 2 sets of folks in order to control power output in this place.
Alright, let's break off into 2 teams then.
I suppose I'll go with Turin to 1. And Tavish
Turin
to
to
I'll
1
go with-
there.
Sorry, that amused me.
Turin. I'm guessing Turin is scanning and noting down anything.
Well,
Keeping
Turin,
an eye out for any.
knowing Vulcans like you do, Turin is trying very, very hard to restrain her inner fangirl, as it were, at the moment. She is just looking at all of this ancient alien technology and is like, where do I look first? Her senses are being absolutely spoiled for treats. But of course, there's the more pressing point of the fact that you have an anomaly that's widening and bringing this satellite into the anomaly with it, so having to do something to try and stop that will be work 1.
So I'm taking Gerkow and Dr. Sot with me. Yeah?
Okay.
Yep. Turin and I will go to the closer one. As Garrow is strong, he might be able to see if there's any problems on the walkway. That's my
Righty.
logic.
Okay, so you've got folks who are free to move around as they will. Carefully.
Oh yeah, I just realised neither Garrow nor Lily are in control of their characters right now.
Quite. So, Chris, you are in control. Try not to get drunk with
Yeah.
power.
Too late.
Their lives are now in my hands. Is this how Sobek
Thank you,
feels?
Chris.
That's okay.
I love the fact that our chief engineer is having PC problems.
It is no small irony, quite.
No.
That's why we call it fantasy and, escapism. But it's also weird that you have to use technology in order to get over the fact that your technology is a bit faulty. Anyway, I'm getting all meta for a moment there, sorry, and woo. Anyways. So yes, these look like... It's pretty much the same kind of idea as, like when you have two consoles to regulate a nuclear reactor, you need one in case the other one goes down, so... again, all of the display text is in a language that you don't recognize. Well, you can semi-recognize it because you have seen its like before, but the universal translator is still having an immense amount of difficulty actually translating what these are about, so it's going to become mostly intuition and the no small amount of engineering-related training that folks have had. Of course, Lieutenant Turin, being your xenoarchaeologist and ancient technologist, can probably help more than anybody else here, so at the moment, as long as communications are up and still functioning, which they are, she will be able to at least verbally assist the other team.
Yeah, can we get Turin to try and give us an idea of what we're about to do, or how we should do it, based on the language? So just get her to try and interpret the controls and what they would do.
Okay. Does she have... She does, actually. The good part about this is that she does... Lieutenant Turin has the talent testing a theory. So if she does do this whole try and interpret the controls successfully, if you then involve Lieutenant Turin in the next task to help throw the thing into reverse, she gets an additional free D20.
Nice.
Oh. Okay. Testing a theory. So we're going to ask Connie to roll as Lieutenant Turin.
Alrighty.
So she is probably going to use reason and science using her... Well, it's going to be ancient technology, really, isn't it? So,
yes.
Xenoarchaeology, either, which works. Xenolinguistics actually makes more sense now that I think about it. But she's got xenoanthropology, xenoarchaeology, and ancient technology, so all of which will apply in some fashion.
So
Oh, sorry.
So I'm just asking, is this going to be the mentioned previous task?
This is going to be the task that sets up. This is going to be the task that sets up the next task, which will allow her to roll an extra one. So
let's just succeed at this. Come on, Turin.
I'll assist with parent figure on the ready.
It was a 20 and then it rolled onto a 2.
Oh, dude.
No need.
Don't need to assist.
Nope.
So yeah, Turin has a good look and is also got she's recalling all the data that she's analysed from the Combs' computers and from the logs and all the scans you guys have taken of this civilization's technology as you've come across it, and you can see screeds of this data rolling past on the heads-up display of her EVA suit, and so she starts using that to correlate an idea of what the symbols might mean and starts pressing buttons, and now has a pretty good idea as to what controls do what. So yes, she can now help talk people through. So Turin gets to roll an extra d6 if she assists on the next control and engineering test that you guys are going to need to do in order to try and throw this thing into reverse. So anybody who's got any kind of focus again to do with power systems or...
I think it's Tavish leading with Phlesc and Turin assisting. And that would be 5 dice.
That would sound like it. So...
4 dice, isn't it?
If we can get...
Oh, no, Turin gets 2. If Tavish leads, she gets 2. and with me assisting, that's 1. I assume we can't increase the dice with the free one.
Sadly, no.
Oh.
I don't think so, anyway. Let me check that.
That's worth the check.
Testing a theory. When you attempt using an energy, you may roll 1 additional d20 so long as you succeed at which you did. That's a dang good question. I'm going to make a ruling here. I'm going to suggest that testing a theory talent seems to infer that as long as you have successfully done a previous one, that should add a free one on top of the usual maximum, so...
Okay.
Otherwise, it would have no real... It wouldn't be as much of an advantage as it suggests it is.
Yeah.
So, to me, that suggests that gives you the extra... a 6th dice you can utilize.
As I say, Tavish, with the highest control in engineering, you want to take another momentum one, because you'll get the most out of it.
What I suggest
Have
then...
we got enough dice
Yeah.
to do that?
We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus a bonus 6. So yeah.
So, if I can have Connie stay as Turin, can I have this... If Mark is being Phlesc, can we have Chris then as Tavish?
Sure.
So is Tavish is rolling 3 using a momentum. A Phlesc is rolling 1 for parent figure.
And Turin is rolling 2.
2. Okay.
Focus power systems.
So I've taken the momentum away.
Pew.
Engineering.
That was close.
I'm rolling the 2, yeah?
You are rolling 2.
You're rolling
for,
3.
3 for Tavish, pardon me.
Oh, with the focus.
Because
With focus.
we're just taking a momentum.
Oh, lots of low rolls there.
Oh.
Look at Tech Tavish out.
That
Oh.
is beautiful.
Oh.
Chris,
You
your
keep on getting
magnificent
everybody
rolls are
else
back.
Thanks, Chris. I'm sorry for taking your magnificent rolls.
That's okay.
And so control and engineering as well for Turin, or
Yes,
does he
indeed.
still stay with... Oh, okay. Okay. With a Xeno focus.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, let's go.
Oh,
Wow.
it's almost a 1. But still, that is a chunk load.
Newt.
Chunk load. So it takes a good bit of coordination between everybody, but naturally you've got Tavish and Turin building on that she's now testing a theory that has just been put into action. As a result of her interpretation of what the controls mean and everybody's trained experience with power systems, basically throw the polarity of the we try that again. You change the polarity of the neutron flow. If you want to do another cross-franchise reference there. Points if you recognize the quote. But you basically throw the energy wave into reverse. So let's go back to the Madrigal System. So I'm not going to do anything fancy here. I am just going to find this and flip it. So, yes, with there's a momentary pause in the power core's thrumming, and then it boosts back up to its previous almost subaudible hum as you throw it into reverse. And sure enough, Hopkins and Gerkow, as they are on the on the Gweechar, witness that the power levels emanating from the satellite throw into reverse and begin siphoning power away from the anomaly. And Gerkow, being on the sensors console on the Gweechar at the moment, can confirm that the gravitational disturbances coming out of the anomaly and the anomaly's growth have now pretty much stopped as they are, where with the black ship pushing energy into it, and the satellite that the rest of the away team is on pulling power out of it, you seem to have hit a stalemate. And that is where Gerkow on her console reads that the black ship is now trying to get a transporter lock on the away team in the satellite.
Oh my god.
What are you going to do?
Ooh.
Oh. Can I first ascertain that the power going back into the satellite will it overload the satellite and start disrupting
Ooh, that's
systems?
a good question. At the moment, it doesn't seem so.
Okay. So, I think at the moment, if there's no work to be done left on the satellite, or we probably still want to stay there, I will want to beam some, what's it called? Transporter inhibitors.
Nice.
Unless anyone wants to come back to the ship first.
No.
No, okay.
We're in control of the satellite. I was
Yeah,
gonna say, can we see if the satellite has any other systems we can pump power to? Like shields? Or something to protect the satellite from whatever that black ship does.
Okay, so this is going to be a mad scramble of two different folks doing two different things. Now, the thing about transporting down pattern disruptors, or whatever they are, transport inhibitors, is that it's going to obviously take time to set up and take time to beam down, and then it's contingent upon the away team then setting them up and activating them in the time it'll take the black ship to get a lock on them and start trying to beam them up. So that's you've already registered that they're trying to get a lock. The only thing that seems to be stopping them at the moment is the fact that they're so close to the satellite's power core. So that'll give you a little bit of leeway, but you've only got time enough to try one thing.
Because I can't exactly extend our shields.
You could try extending the Guichar's shield, certainly. It would tax the shields a little bit, but it was certainly possible.
I think that's the best option whilst we scramble to find something on the vessel. Oh, wait. They can't get a lock due to being so close to the power source. If we draw more power from the anomaly whilst we're looking for a shield, so Team 1, Team 2, whilst the Guichar extends shields, can we do that?
Yeah, we can try that, certainly. What does everybody else think? I'm hearing no objections to this plan. Okay.
Yeah, I guess I only need to extend shields over the away teams.
Quite, or at the very least over enough of the satellite that it interferes with the transporter lock. So, I am going to say that Hopkins will probably want to assist with this, because you're going to need to do a bit of... Pardon me. Gerkow's going to need to do a bit of control and engineering to extend the Guichar's shields. You can probably get Hopkins to assist with presence and command by issuing basically an order and helping. The Guichar itself will also be able to assist, so if I can get Mark, if I can get you to be the Guichar, if I can get Chris to be Hopkins.
Sure.
And of course, Connie to be Gerkow. Excuse me, frog in my throat.
The role of the Guichar?
So the Guichar is going to need to give us... there's that structure and engineering I was talking about. One dice, and this is going to consume power to do so.
Cool. And there's not really to do. Advanced shields as a talent. What does that mean?
Yes, that gives the Guichar extra shields beyond a ship of its size. So.
Okay.
That works in our favour at least.
Yeah.
In general.
Engineering structure. One dice.
Chris, can I get you to roll me a presence and command with 1 dice with, let's say, shipboard tactical systems as a focus from Hopkins?
Sure.
And Connie, this is going to be, like I said, control and engineering from Gerkow, shields.
Is there any objection for me to take a point of momentum? As I've probably done the reading on extending shields, so I can use science and count as having a focus.
Cool.
Anyone?
I hear no objections.
Go for it.
No, it's all
Yeah.
good.
Taking a point of momentum, control and science instead, and applicable focus.
Nice!
Whoa.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in total. Wagga boom, wagga bang. So, it drains a point of the Gweechar's power to extend its shields over such an area, but you manage to extend the shields enough that they do block the transporter attempt. At the same time, the Gweechar registers on its sensors that the Combs is now coming in. Obviously, they've detected what's going on as well, and they're coming in to try and help, so you have that at your disposal as well. Meanwhile, the away team was going to try something, siphoning extra power from the anomaly.
Trying to use Turin and one other to find a shield or something we can use to dump the extra power into. If not a shield, anything to vent power. And then Team 2 will be siphoning extra power based off of we know how to alter it. We reverse it, and earlier we did reduce the power. So we're doing keeping it reversed, but then increasing the amount of draw.
Yeah, so those with any knowledge of engineering would think that if they're having if the black ship is having difficulty locking onto your transporter signals before the whole shield's extended thing from the Gweechar, it's more than likely due to a combination of factors: the distance down inside the structure you are, the density of the materials that the satellite is made out of, as well as the power output causing a small amount of maybe electromagnetic interference. So routing power through the various subsystems of the satellite itself could probably assist with creating more levels of interference. So this sounds, again, like this sounds more like a daring and engineering test now, though, because this is getting to be a very why don't we throw extra power through the network? Because, you know, what could possibly go wrong? I am, as a result, going to spend a point of threat to up the complication range.
Okay, and just a quick check on testing a theory. Does Lieutenant Turin keep that bonus T20 if she does a similar task again?
I'm going to go with yes,
Okay.
because she succeeded on a previous task that is to do with the success of the previous task, so... yeah, yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Okay. Right, so we got, say, Turin and Phlesc doing the rerouting.
Connie
Or
Bob,
the-
can I get you to be Turin, please? I've got an assortment of different pet names I've got for you now, so I'm going to try each of them out and see which one sticks. I apologise ahead of them, they just flow out of my mouth. So, yeah.
Okay.
Right, yeah. So it's daring and engineering. So Turin's got 8 and 2. So I'll lead this one.
Okay.
For 2 dice. Turin's got 2.
2.
Yep.
I could spend a momentum to get an extra dice. But we still have 1 spare. Do we want to bring Garrow in, or do we want to save Garrow for drawing more power?
Or
Or
do you
we
want to
doing
bring
both at the same
Tavish
time?
in?
If we're doing it as 2 separate, I'd rather have Tavish lead the second
One.
task. Or can we do all of it together?
What were you going to have Tavish then do if it wasn't the case?
Because right now we're trying to vent power
Yeah.
to all the subsystems to increase distortion. And then we want to then draw more power as well.
Draw more power. Okay, so yeah, in that case, Tavish would be better placed to pull extra power from the core. Okay.
Yeah, use Garrow.
Use Garrow.
Use Garrow.
Use the Garrow.
Yeah.
Chris, looks like you're up then as Garrow.
Sure.
Can't do pet names for Chris that easily because I usually have to distinguish between which Chris I'm talking about. Maybe I should just to keep you both guessing, but one of them's not here today, so all I got for Mark is Marky Mark, and that gets old very quickly. Kind of like the Backstreet Boys. So
Even Chris P and Chris B don't lend itself to distinction very well, does it?
No.
What am I rolling anyway? Sorry.
So
Garrow's going to be another control and engineering, isn't it? So.
Thank you. Just the one dice.
Control or daring? Sorry.
Oh, that's a good point. It is going to be more daring, yes.
So
Daring and engineering, because throwing power into extra
My
substances.
daring stat is my control stat is higher.
Yes, which tells you a
sorry.
lot about Garrow, doesn't it?
I'm going to roll 3 because I've stolen the momentum.
Okay, I'll roll the 1.
I mean, we can have like Garrow roll 2 then, right? No. So you roll 3 for momentum. Garrow's 1.
We've got
Yeah, Turin assisting.
Turin.
3, 4, 5, 6. So Garrow would still roll 1, Turin would roll 2.
Okay.
If
3, 2,
Phlesc
1.
is rolling 3, 4, 5, but the extra one is 6, so.
Cool.
Parent figure. Oh
I'm
wait, no,
still...
it was knocked over. That's my bad. Sorry, I thought that was.
No, that was a 19. That was a 19, and I did increase the complication range. So yes, parent figure comes into that one. Okay.
And Turin is still using her to know everything.
Yes, indeed. She's basically telling people which buttons to push. That was almost a 20, but it rolled onto the 14, so you're fine. A lot of close calls going on here. Alright then, so... Alright, cool. So not only do you throw things in traverse, you start channeling power out through into the various systems. What they do at this present moment in time is entirely beyond your comprehension. But shunting power through all the various systems and subsystems of the satellite seems to be having a desired effect. It's certainly increased the level of ambient interference going on around your general area. Okay.
So we know we can vent the power as it comes in, so it's not going to be overloading.
Okay.
Let's get more power.
Let's get more power. Sounds like a Tavish job then.
Yay!
She's just basically usually any kind of power is a daring and engineering test in order to try and see how much extra power you can generate. So
You might as well Dr. Sot to assist and take a momentum.
I was going to actually not take a momentum. I was going to use a point of determination.
Can you do both?
I think I can, yeah. I think that would make me have 4, yeah.
And then stop with the 5. Because Sot's there, you know.
Yep.
You might...
Sot waves and says,
That's
"Hello,
right.
I'm still
I'm
here."
here. Hello.
Yeah. I don't know which talent to use.
Rethinker, where there's a will, there's a way. Cool in a crisis, or mad engineer.
I feel like this is a bit of a mad engineer thing.
I'm glad you think so, because that's where I was going mentally as well. So,
Yeah.
all right.
So yeah. Well,
Spend
would you
the
mind rolling
determination
me?
point. Take that momentum from the pool.
Yoink. And then it's daring and engineering. That's a good one. I'm gonna use
More
focus,
power.
determination. So it's still rolling through.
No, it's still rolling 3. Yeah.
Cool. Go on.
Ooh, hello.
Legion
What's
of Honor.
that I
Legion of
see?
Honor. It's a Legion of Honor, is what that was.
Quite. You see that there? That's a Legion of Honor. Why the Irish accent, Matt? Dr. Sot was assisting with this, I believe.
Yes. So what should I
That's another daring and engineering check, I'm afraid.
Daring engineering.
So I throw
Nice.
this switch here?
What could possibly go wrong?
Apparently nothing.
Woo,
It all
yeah.
works out
My
very,
rolls have
very
been
well.
good today. So far, so good.
Alright, the power generation goes quite a bit higher now as all the readouts start to climb as the amount of power output is going, which means that from the Gwich'ar and the Combs, the other crew on those ships, respectively, notice that the anomaly's gravitic output is starting to shrink, and the power coming out of the satellite is growing exponentially as well. Not exponentially; it is growing more noticeable too. So, as a result, the black ship has a response to that. Only Section 31 have sent a fly to interfere with me because it just flew in my face as soon as I said that. Now.
High roll phases.
Well, let's see, shall we? I am going to stay. That's a good point, actually. Where are we? This is piece of the puzzle, so let's have. Dot. Taking that out of there to use. Well, hello there.
Oh no.
Well, hello there.
What?
Oh dear, it gets worse. Okay. So, first things first, the black ship is very much pointed with its deflector aimed at the anomaly, which is where the power stream is flowing out from. However, the Gwich'ar, Hopkins and Gerkow, who are on the Gwich'ar, suddenly get a computer alert that a target lock has been made by the black ship, at which point... Let me find the right thing. Yeah, I needed the wrong thing. They fire and do much. Oof.
What?
We cannot catch a break.
Right, so that is... luckily for them, they didn't have time to modify that in any way. Hello! Just in time,
Just
this!
in time for the Gwich'ar to get almost destroyed.
That's fine. You go get a Dr. Pepper while I try and calculate what's going on here. So, let me see. That one,
Possibly.
those two is.
Oh my god.
And I had quite a few extra dice there, so I am gonna spend at least another 2 of them to do that. In one shot, one very powerful aimed shot, the black ship opens fire and seems to be aiming specifically for the Gwich'ar's shields, and blasts them down in one shot. The Gwich'ar loses its shields from one massive shot from the black ship, but that does now mean that the crew of the Combs now have all the justification they need for responding. Because Captain Sobek is very much a Starfleet guy and does not believe in... was very much the whole ethos of Star Trek, Starfleet rather, Star Trek. Starfleet doesn't fire first. But now that they've fired, that means that things now getting a bit more aggressive. So, I'm bringing in some of your supporting cast onto the starfield so that we can more easily access their characters. And so, the combs, which was on yellow alert before, is now on very much red alert as we change the ambience. So, how is the Combs going to respond to the fact that the Black Ship has taken aggressive action against the Guicha?
Don't worry, lads, I got it.
So, essentially, we have got all of you, and you two, and the
Combs is about to do what it's going to do. Are we able to get another siphoning power beam to target the Black Ship?
Right, give me a moment, I just need to check something.
Is it possible to, well, I don't know if we're like, our ship is so damaged, or it could be restored using power if you can redirect it from the satellite either.
I was going to say, do you want to just beam off the Guicha for now, and we will recover it when we deal with
What does Hopkins think?
Oh, we'll wait for Liz to come back.
Yeah, Liz is currently unavailable. She's reaching for her morning.
You don't want to know what Hopkins is thinking right now.
Going down with the ship.
Die! You scratched my baby!
Does the Guicha still have weapons? Yes, because
absolutely it does.
So we've got the Combs and the Guicha ready to fire, but I want to get the satellite crew to drain that ship of its power. So
Gerkow, you might want to abandon ship.
Oh no!
Ramming speed! Alright, so basically we've now thrown this into initiative. So it's the usual thing of one of you goes, one of they go, etc, blah blah blah. Now you do have a couple of advantages and disadvantages going into this. Obvious advantage here appears to be that you have two ships and a satellite, if you want to get really technical. They only have one ship. They have a big bloody ship, but they've only got one ship. They also seem to be very much preoccupied with what they're doing here. And the fact that the ship didn't come about any, just fired one of its phaser arrays, suggests that they need to pretty much remain facing the anomaly in order to continue doing whatever it is, for whatever reason. They're doing it. So it seems the Black Ship can't bring all of its power to bear on any kind of, like, they certainly don't seem to be willing to make an attack run or on any evasive action or any stuff like that. They seem to be pretty much holding where they are. So you've got that going for you. But the disadvantage you have is, if I can remind everybody, that there are gravitational waves in the vicinity that do increase the difficulty of things like piloting checks, because you are also fighting an anomaly's gravity. So,
how much did we reduce that by when we pulled more power? Because we reversed the beam, and then we pulled more power.
Good point. Well made. You did produce more power, so I am willing to say that you reduced it down to gravitational waves 2 rather than 3. And the anomaly has stopped widening.
I don't know who wants to go first, because I want to try and get a second beam to just drain the ship, but I'm not sure if Hopkins is going to be quicker on the trigger. Because of what just happened.
If you could get rid of the shields, and before Connie leaves, definitely give me my shields back, please.
Yeah, no, not just drain their shields. I intend on taking as much power off them as possible.
There's a reason why the Greece still has one thing one specific thing or design.
Secondary reactors, nice.
No, rugged design.
Oh,
It's
no.
easier to repair. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, are we going to go with away team, one of the away team targeting the ship with a second beam, and just drain it, and redirect that to put the shields back on the Gweecher?
Interesting. Which suggests that first you need to change the way the power you need to find something on the satellite that will do what you need, that you can change to do what you need. So
I'm
first is going to be
definitely
finding it, second is going to be modifying it, and then as soon as you modify it is going to be, firing it, and then fourth is going to be getting somebody to use a similar thing to then redirect out to feed power to the Gweecher. So you've got quite a few things to do in succession there that chain off of each other.
Okay.
So if you want to do that, the first thing that has to happen is somebody's going to have to look for a system that would be suitable for drawing power, siphoning power, or at least projecting some kind of power out into or from the void. So whoever
Okay.
wants to do it is going to have to give me a reason and engineering check at difficulty 2.
Reason 10, engineering 2. Because Turin's got that bonus roll
Oh,
still. Reason 10, engineering 5. In initiative, can we assist in a task like this?
Yeah, you'd be essentially giving up your turn to do stuff, basically.
Yeah, I think I'll get Phlesc to assist Turin. So if Phlesc leads and Turin assists, so she gets a bonus dice. Phlesc's got 2. And then, do you want Garrow? No, I want Garrow. Because I can spend a determination. No, I don't know. I need help here, guys. I'll definitely do me and Turin doing it.
Yeah.
But it's a case of I'll take a momentum. That gives us 4 dice in total.
I mean, I think that
Plus
we
the
have
bonus.
to.
I'll take a momentum and a determination. Just to make sure we do it with the increased difficulty.
Okay.
What do you think?
I hear no objections to this plan.
Alright.
Alright.
Phlesc will lead. So, what was it? Sorry, reason and engineering.
Reason and engineering, you need to find the thing first.
Right, I'm using the value of desperation breeds inspiration.
Alrighty.
No.
And we're rolling 3 dice with a focus on power systems and the determination, and the extra dice is from momentum as well. So it's 3, 4. Yep. Oh, come on. Give me a better roll than last time.
Oh,
2, 4, and a 1. My God.
Oh, yes, please.
Jeez Louise.
Turin still need to assist.
I mean,
With that,
Actually,
you
do-
don't
do-
need Turin's
Yes.
assistance.
let's save Turin for the next one.
Yeah.
Turin was very much along the lines of, allow me to assist you, Mr. Never mind. Phlesc is very much a
I
case
got
of,
this.
now we need to find something to... Oh, look. What's that? That looks almost like a power wave distribution dish. If we realign that, we could very much try and use it to siphon energy from the nearest power source. If we point it in the right direction and use a focused beam, we could try and siphon energy from... Okay. And... yeah, Turin is just there, listening to Phlesc reel off all of these things. It's a case of, well, you sound like you've got it all worked out, Commander. You don't need me. So, blimey, yes, that was a resounding success. So, let me think. This will probably be the equivalent of... This is an improvised weapon of a sort. So let me think. This is going to require a control and engineering check to technically fire. You are definitely scale. Well, you're not scale 6. You're more like scale 8, let's say. So it's a scale 8 satellite that you are currently sat in, which will affect things. It's an energy beam to the effect of... Is there any equivalent we can use? Starship weapons. Now, it's not going to be... It's just an energy siphon, isn't it? So... It's going to be the equivalent of something like a phased polaron beam, so let's go with that.
Because this is redirecting as well.
Yeah, and you're changing it to do a dampening effect, which is used to siphon power. So, let's say it's control and engineering scale 8, which makes this... Since Phlesc overwhelmingly managed that, let's use Phlesk's engineering of 5 to make this a 6 plus the scale of 8 is going to make this... Jeez whiz. 8. It's going to be at least a 12. And has the dampening quality to it. Okay. You have created an impromptu weapon out of an energy projection satellite dish. That's Starfleet. What's the old... there's an old adage for Starfleet engineers turning rocks into replicators. I think this definitely counts as one of those situations.
I do specialize in replicators.
There you go, then. Alright, so unless you're spending 2 momentum to maintain the initiative...
I think we should. Wait, can we... Do we have any extra momentum, or was that spent on this dampening weapon?
That was just... You haven't spent it so far. You've only got maximum of what you just spent on. I mean, yeah, you've got 8 successes, but it was all towards what you just did, so...
Okay. I think we should take 2 momentum to keep the initiative. Yeah.
Okay, so who's going next then of you guys?
We're going to do the next one? The next stage in this plan? So we can actually get the shields down for Hopkins to do Hopkins things.
Alright, then let's see how you do. Who wants to be the one to actually fire the thing? If it's a control and engineering check, that would certainly suggest Tavish be the one to do so. And let's face it, Tavish would probably be frothing at the mouth for an opportunity to do something like this.
He is frothing at the mouth.
Right, so I was looking for starship weapon qualities.
Get Garrett to assist. Because he definitely...
Dampening. Okay.
Like, Tavish has the shields focus, right? Just in an offensive way.
Yeah. Shields focused, as well as power systems focused.
This is more an experimental technology thing as well, so that'll definitely...
It's just because Garrow's good at firing stuff.
True, but this isn't using security, this is using engineering as the discipline to hit with.
He's still got good engineering.
He's got good engineering, I'm not saying he hasn't. So it's up to you. But I would suggest that potentially Tavish is the more qualified.
Oh no, I meant like Tavish to lead. Can we get Garrett to assist? Oh no, that's spending. Tell you what, yeah, Tavish, you fire it, take a momentum, get it going. Don't know if you want to use your very last determination.
Yeah, last determination of mad scientist or mad engineer.
No. We'll leave the final determination just for
In case of emergencies.
emergencies. Yeah.
Liz, since you haven't been around and Dave is currently unable to actually use a character, feel free to take control of Tavish for the moment then.
Control and engineering?
Yes, please.
Alright, with a focus on power systems, right? Correct?
Experimental technology.
Yeah, same thing. It's still focusing.
It's a focus. It's a focus.
Alright, did you say we're using a momentum to get a third dice?
Oh yeah.
Let's take that momentum away. 3 successes, which was, considering the distance, pretty much what you needed to hit. Can I get you to then roll me 12 challenge dice?
Oh. Come on.
Okay, so
Oh.
the good news is, for every effect you roll, you drain a point of power, so, because it's dampening. So that's 7 successes, that means that... hitting the black ship's shields with that energy beam that lances out from the satellite doesn't seem to do an awful lot to their shields, but that's not the point. What you're trying to do is drain their power, which is what happens. So even though the shields on the enemy ship barely move, it's their power systems that take the biggest knock as you drain 6 points out of their power. So all of a sudden, their power output goes down by 50%.
Just going through Tavish's talents.
Rifling through her belongings.
I can't really use my ship. What was the one I just had open?
You're looking for there, Marky Mark.
Star Cross. Once per mission, attempting a task and applying a focus, character may choose to double their focus range. Score 2 successes for any die the rolls equal to or less. Oh, we should have done that before.
Yeah.
What would
Never
that do? Would we get more successes if we had?
We would have got 1 more because engineering is 5, and that would have doubled it to 10.
So it wouldn't have been a huge thing.
No. Okay. Next time.
Next
Yeah, because I actually did forget Cabbage had that.
Maybe it'd be the Medal of Honor that would be the good one.
Ooh.
Well,
Once per mission, 2 bonus momentum. Would that add 2 more challenge dice?
no. That would have added momentum.
Yeah, but what could we spend the momentum on in that firing?
You would have been able to spend it on. Actually, no, that's a good point. You would have been able to spend it on extra challenge dice to do the damage effect with. You're quite right.
Tavish? Oh, Dave.
Yes.
Do you? Because you only get this once per mission. Do you want to use the Medal of Honor?
Yeah, why not?
Yep.
Why not? It's a laugh, innit?
Yeah.
Alright. Go on, Liz. Another 2 challenge dice. More pew pew.
Yep, so actually 2 more off the shields and 1 more power off, so over 50% of their power is gone. All right then, which means it's now their turn.
I'm taking we can't spend another 2 momentum to keep initiative.
You can if you want to lower your momentum pool all the way down to 1.
Dean? Or should I say Hopkins? We've prepped him for you.
It's got to be.
I'm okay with it. We've had some good rolls. I think we can get that back up. And if we use the Combs turn to scan to target weak points, we'll get some back as well.
What do you think, guys? Is that what you want to do? Spend 2 extra momentum to hold the initiative?
Sure thing.
I'm all for it. Yeah.
I think it's hard.
And 2. Alright, who's going? If If you want sensors from the combs, that's going to be Beatrice Dufresne.
Oh no, I meant later. If
Later.
Hopkins wanted. Oh wait, yeah, we might be able to stack and then take initiative again. Yeah, do that. Yeah, do that. Yeah, let's find the weak points. Yeah, do it that way.
Yes,
Right.
find the weak points in this ship. That ship size, they're totally not weak to ramming. Or actually, totally weak to ramming. Just no reason.
It still has some shields.
Yeah.
But it's
So
got
we
lots
are
of power.
using Dufresne, or
I believe they choose the best
yeah.
for it.
You can use Dufresne and then the next time use some for gold to keep stacking.
I mean, they have shields, yes. But that's to deflect missiles. I doubt it affects ships coming into it.
okay, so we are looking at internal. No, we're not. We're looking at sensors. So if we can get Dufresne to give us, it's a scan for weakness task. So we're looking at control and science with a difficulty of 1 from Dufresne. The ship can also assist with sensors and security. Now, the difficulty is it's 1, but the distance is long at the moment, so that's going to go up by 2, so it's actually difficulty 3 to scan for weaknesses. Oh, wait a minute. I just remembered something.
We have advanced sensor suites.
Yes, but they have something to do with that you don't as well. So the difficulty actually goes up to, let me see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 to scan for weakness.
Even with the advanced sensor suites.
Advanced sensor suites, good point. Brings it back down to 3. So, if... I mean, whose idea was this? Mr. Powell, if you'd care to be Dufresne. And Liz, since you haven't had much opportunity to roll much to date, how about you be the cones? I am looking for, once again, from Dufresne, I'm looking for control and science. Obviously, a focus on sensors is going to be required, and the ship gives us sensors and security.
Mm-hmm.
1 success from that. 1 success from that, not enough. What Dufresne does find is that when the Combs tries to scan the opposite ship, all they're getting is its surface dimensions. There's something, there's energy being channeled into the hull of the black ship, which is preventing sensors from penetrating into it. So the ship has got some kind of sensor baffling system built into it that stops people from being able to scan their ship.
Does it use power when we scan it?
Sensors does not drain power, it does not seem, no.
So it's a passive thing, okay. I was hoping we got knocked some more power out. Okay. But we did get a bonus momentum.
That's a good point. Where did you get bonus momentum from? That was the advanced sensor suites and high resolution sensors. Any successful task? It wasn't successful.
Never mind. Sorry,
Like I said, they've got sensor baffles that made it more difficult for you to scan their ship, which is why all you
got
got.
the dimensions, which is still kind of a success. So
Yeah,
we know
exactly.
more about
So
this
you
ship.
did learn something from it.
How is that not a success? I want Hopkins to
Technically,
shoot.
you didn't get on or over the amount of successes required. But
dang it.
in not getting it, you still learned something about the other ship.
Okay.
Oh, don't worry, don't worry.
So, you've only got 1 momentum left, which is not enough to keep the initiative, so I'm going back to what I was doing before. Which
Sorry, Hopkins.
was... You pesky little monsters. So now they have to choose between getting power back or trying once again to beam the away team off of the planet. I am spending threat here, I think, to help. Ooh, that looks like a success to me. Internal systems management is power management, and that's usually that. Which means I get extra, which means they get... two back, and I'm spending additional threat to put it up a bit more. Alright, so that was them. Who wants to go next out of you lot? Is it now Hopkins' time to shine?
Hopkins, you want us to blast it with the dampener, or do you want to blast it
You've
yourself?
already done that once. If you do it again, the difficulty to do it again will go up by 1.
Ah. Hopkins.
Alright. Is there a specific, like, area we can maneuver without having to roll con first?
Sadly, if you want to put yourself in an advantageous... I mean, just plain old moving to a different place, like there, for instance, doesn't require much. I mean, just to maneuver would require control and con with a difficulty at 0. That does that to 2, but you do get to add engines and con to do it. And it's just a maneuver; it won't cost you any power.
Can she still fire?
It's one or the other.
Oh, I'm definitely firing.
So, firing the Guicha's weapons is going to be using tactical positions fire weapons. That's going to be control and security, aided by the ship's weapons and security, and this does require a point of power.
Cool.
So,
Determine
let me see.
of death or dishonor.
Right, so the difficulty you have here is that your disruptor cannons are close-range weapons, and they're currently at medium. So the difficulty will go up from 2 to 3.
Still taking a determination of death before dishonor.
Okie doke. So... Connie, do you want to be the Guicha?
Right.
Guicha will be rolling from its weapons and security 1 dice, and it's... Holy heck! 4 successes, very good.
No.
Woohoo!
So any extra the ship adds is gravy in the boat. 16? No successes. Okay, so it's all down to... Hopkins does not get that determination back, I am afraid, but nevertheless, you needed 3, you got 4, so you can add 1 extra dice to damage, or you can put it back in the momentum pool.
Let's get it back in the momentum.
Okay, sweet. Roll disruptor cannons. Right, so... Disruptor cannons, where did I put those?
Damage is useless.
So, 3 successes, 1 effect, so you hit for 3, and it's using disruptors, which is vicious, so that's an extra 1, which makes a 4. You fire a fusillade of disruptor shots from the wing-mounted disruptor cannons, and the black ship takes it. Their shields did not budge.
Is it worth taking the next move once again, use the momentum, and attempting another scan? But we're so back using his focus of starship design.
No, because it's they've got that dampener thing. So it would be another failure. We could try firing.
Not necessarily. You could really try and get around it.
Ooh.
It's not an automatic failure. It just makes it more difficult to scan.
Oh, okay. So our choices are either a more difficult dampening blast, take out that power.
So yeah, this comes down to: do you want to spend your last 2 momentum to keep the initiative and try again?
If we do that, maybe Sobek can use his curiosity determination as well.
Ooh, okay.
So it's not just one focus.
So he's trying his level best.
I'm all for that then. I was 50-50 which one to do. Let's do that. Let's scan it.
Yeah, let's try to let's find weaknesses.
Okay, so take those 2 momentums. Connie, since this was your idea, you may as well be Sobek.
Oh, are you?
So Sobek is trying to use internal systems to scan, or sensors rather, to scan. So this is going to be, once again, a scan for weakness. Control and science. Difficulty 1, 2, 3, up to 4. Advanced sensors brings it down to 3. So it's difficulty 3. Sobek can indeed use his starship design focus and can throw in a determination as well. And the ship also gets to assist. So Chris, if we can get you to be the combs.
Of course.
The combs will be assisting with sensors and security.
And Sobek has veteran, so he can roll for that determination.
Sobek does have veteran, as has quite rightly been pointed out. So yes, we can try and recapture that determination.
Right.
So that's the ship, and the ship helps.
Ooh.
Focus and determination.
Focus and determination. That's not bad. That
And
is not
then
bad at
I'll
all. Look
roll
at that.
one challenge dice. Do we
Lovely.
get the determination back?
He does not get it back, but that is 5 successes in total, which is up to above what I said you needed.
Plus
So
a
that's 2 momentum.
scan. And scan it.
Plus
Yeah, so you get another +1.
an extra 1.
Because
So,
of the... Yeah.
so there is a potential weakness that you can exploit as a result. A particular fluctuation in their power grid means that if you hit it in a certain spot, you might be able to do some extra damage. Essentially, the ship's weapons now, the Combs' weapons, now get the piercing quality, which means it can ignore 2 points of armor resistance.
Oh.
So, that was the Captain Sobek seizing the initiative, which means, unless you're spending momentum again to keep the initiative...
Shall we do that? We can either
I think
blast...
so.
We'll seize
Wow.
the initiative. We can either blast it with a dampener, increase difficulty, or get the ship to fire on... get the combs to fire on the black
Holding
ship.
on to initiative.
Yeah, let's seize the initiative, but which do we want to do? Because what's the difficulty for shooting the cones and the difficulty for us redoing the dampener?
The difficulty for shooting, let's see, the Combs has got phaser arrays, which are medium-ranged weapons. Close, medium, they are in long range, so the difficulty would be 2. If you're using phasers, that means the difficulty goes from 2 to 3.
And the dampening difficulty at the moment would be...
3 as well. Now, the Combs does
But
have Tactical Officer Kralkosa Dawn.
So, but when we're doing the dampening, we're also providing some... Are you boosting the weapons power of the creature as well when we do that?
Not
Or
currently.
just
That bit hasn't been done yet. This is
Okay.
So far, you've concentrated on finding the thing to do the power drain on the other ship, shooting the thing to do the power drain on the other ship, and the rest so far has been scan it, scan it, scan it quick! Oh, and the Guichar shot. So far we haven't yet got around to the, well, how can we now use the power we've drained to fire some back at the Guichar? That has yet to occur.
What's the range for torpedo?
Torpedoes are long range.
Because Lieutenant Dawn uses precision salvo, it's an extra +1 to piercing, so that'll be 3 piercing if we spend the momentum. So we'd get down to 0 momentum, but
That's
3
a
piercing
good
attack.
point.
And it's long range, it reduces the difficulty.
Where did you get precision salvo from?
Lieutenant...
She's got a talent.
Yeah, talent in precision salvo. Spend 1
When you
momentum
make a
to add
torpedo
1
attack, you
piercing.
can spend immediate to give it the extra piercing, so it's not what I thought it was. Cool. Nice!
I would go for that. Seizing momentum.
Yes, let's.
3 piercing. Blast it.
Yeah.
Are blasting! Alright,
Because
so
then it's
seizing
only-
the initiative, Lieutenant Krakasa Dawn is going to be making a tactical assault with the making an attack with the tactical station, and you're using torpedoes. Alrighty, this is going to. I mean, Liz, you introduced your new tactical officer, so why don't you do the honors? Mark, since you were just gushing about it, why don't you be the Combs? So,
Do us proud.
Yep, Starship. Weapon systems.
Dawn is using control and security. The Combs is using weapons and security. The difficulty for any torpedo attack is 3. So, you've got, of course, if you...
Why?
Hello!
Why?
Does she have it? What can we do to
Anybody can spend their determination to prevent that to re-roll that if they want.
mitigate that? Who's got determination? Sobek's got
I
some.
will. I don't mind spending mine.
So does our fearless Helms officer.
Right. So if Chris said he doesn't mind spending some of Dr. Sott's, and let's face it, Dr. Sott is in a combat situation, unless people
Not
start
got a whole lot
actively
to do
getting
with
injured.
myself.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll spend a point. There we are.
So
Does
basically,
he?
go on.
He doesn't have to be on the ship for this.
No, it's just basically
Can I just,
me
like,
saying that the
offer
player
words
can
and-
choose to use one of their characters' that's more like
Yeah.
it. 2
I'll
successes.
just offer words of moral support over communications.
What can the ship do to increase
The ship
Uh,
rolls weapons and security, please. 1 dice.
weapons and security? We can't boost power or anything, so yeah.
If you spend an extra point of power, you can add an extra dice to the hit.
Do it.
Yep. 3 dice. Don't really have anything for focus. Right, 3 dice. Come on.
No! What is that?
No. I will happily spend 1 of my determination. Get rid of mine.
I have
Sot,
not
do you
seen
wanna do
that
the same?
before. Dave,
So, do you mind
Mark's
using
done
yours
better
as
than
well?
you have. Dave, you still with us?
Oh.
We've lost to Dave.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Sorry, the unmute button was not cooperating there.
Let me
Dr. Scott, do you
speak!
mind spending 1 of your determination to get rid of the second one? Because I've just used mine to get rid of 1, and I'll re-roll.
You want? What?
Yeah.
You want to use my left?
Yeah.
My
your-
last one.
Okay, is that your last determination?
we have
Maybe use
Garrow and
Go on.
Oh,
As
you
well.
said Doctor.
Garrow,
Yeah,
you can
but-
use the Garrow, you can use anyone's, it's fine. You don't
Yeah.
have to use Tavish's last one.
Oh, sorry,
Let's
no,
use-
not Tavish's. No. Oh, wait,
Let's use
in
one
which
of
case...
the things.
Alright, I'll keep mine. Can we use 1 from...
It's
thingy?
been quite
Sobek.
rightly pointed out that it's either Sobek or Lieutenant Commander Lian Zhang, your Helms officer, hasn't used one yet, so...
Yeah. 1 from Sobek.
One from
And
Zhang. Okay.
1 from Yeah, sure. So there we go.
So there we are, Dave. Mark has beaten your record.
Oh my god. So we're re-rolling 2 weapons. and
Re-rolling 2.
security. Oh my god.
Oh, that's better.
That's
Oh,
much
God.
better. Okay, so what have we got here?
Oh,
We
that's
have got
6.
2 successes
Oh,
from Dawn. 4,
Two.
Was
5,
it my
6.
was it my record, or I thought it
You
was?
rolled 2 20s.
I thought it was the other Chris.
I know some
now
I roll like
Mark
3
Mark has
20s.
done another unique one. 2 20s and a 1. I've never seen that.
Well done. Well done.
Okay, so that was. Did we draw down on the momentum? Yeah, so we used up all the momentum. 1 for the torpedo, 2 for the initiative. How many successes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
So the good
We
news
got
is
6,
that you
because-
did actually get 2 above what you needed to hit eventually. Rather than the torpedo detonating in the tube.
We got 6 because I got 1 and then re-rolled 1 for another success, and then we got
Yes.
2 and 2.
Oh yes, of course you did. Sorry, I can't count. 6, so you got 3 over and above what you needed. So this is once again that mix and match game of putting some back into the momentum pool, or putting some into extra damage, or putting all of it into the momentum pool, or putting all of it into damage, whichever way you want to do it.
I was going to say put it all into momentum, if everyone's okay with that.
Yeah.
See
We can keep seizing the initiative.
Roll
Yep.
torpedo damage, please.
Challenge?
No, just go to the ship, back to the ship's character sheet, roll down, you'll see equipment.
Yep, torpedo.
There's weapons, photon torpedo. If you hover over the Starfleet com badge,
Yeah.
press it. Okay, that's a lot
Oh.
of effects. Let's see what we get from that. Now, the only quality it has got is high yield, which makes sense. So that's a 6 with 4 effects, so those 4 high yield effects happen, which means the photon torpedo fires out and smashes into the ship. Now you've got technically piercing 3 going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Is that when you make a torpedo attack, you may spend a momentum. So
Which
she's gonna have
is what we did.
Is what she did to give it piercing 3. So as a result, that is 6 minus. It's just another 3. So 1, 2, 3. Their shields go down a smidge. So their shields are now down by about, let's see. Oof. Their shields have dropped by about 25% after all of that. So,
Do we want to seize the initiative? Now we can either blast it with a dampener again, or try and boost the shield back up on the Guicha.
alternatively, Gerkow could try doing the task to regain shields herself, since she hasn't gone yet. But do you want to seize the initiative for that?
I think we should seize the initiative. I want
Don't need
to
them.
protect. Yeah, I want to protect the Guicha. It's just the best way to do that.
Yeah. I'm not sure I should do it because I don't really have any stuff for it, really.
Well, Hopkins doesn't either, so Hopkins has already had her turn, so it depends on what you think Gerkow would want to do on her turn.
You have the God focus as well as full determination.
True, that's true.
What do
Yeah, I
your
guess-
medals do, because you could boost it somehow.
So, if we take 2 determination to seize the initiative, maybe Dark Cross? Let's see. Or Medal of Honor. Yeah, I could do that.
You can do both.
True. Yeah, I'll try and we'll seize the initiative to try and restore some shields in the Guicha.
2 momentum taken away.
Yeah. Using both the Star-Cross and Starfleet Medal of Honor.
Okay. So, Star-Cross increases your discipline score by a factor of 2. And once per mission, you may gain 2 bonus momentum on a successful task. Raising the shields back is regenerating shields requires a power requirement of 1. So that's another point of power from the Guicha, which I have just done. You are required. Pardon me. Gerkow is required to make a control and engineering check with a difficulty of 1. This can be assisted by the Guicha itself. So Liz, if you want to do that, structure and engineering from the Guicha.
I suppose this counts as a different scene as when I last used my did the reading.
This is...
Or the same.
If you really want to spend that last momentum you have in the pool on the gamble that you can get lots of extra momentum on this, then yeah, fine, you can use it again. You can use did the reading.
Oh,
So the Guicha gives you 1 extra, okay?
If that counts as a different scene, then I can use that 1 momentum instead of needing to use 2.
Go on then.
Okay. Are we happy with that? Are we happy with me taking that away?
Yeah, you're spending a determination and a momentum. I'd say go for it.
Okay. And then we just turn that down to 0. So, control and science instead of engineering, and then
Okay.
taking away a determination with my stick it to the man. And with my god focus. Oh my gosh. Come on, please.
Oof, a 2 and an 8 and a 1. Right. So the difficulty for regenerating shields was just 1. So you've got 4 over and above what you needed. For every one of those... Actually, you got 6, didn't you? So 4 of those momentum are able to go back into the momentum pool. 2 have to be used for the shields. Now, just from succeeding, the Guicha regains 2 shields. For every extra momentum, now because you've used Starfleet Medal of Honor, you automatically generate 2 bonus momentum that goes to this task. Each of those bonus momentum ups the shields again by an extra 2, so the shields are all the way up to 6 out of 9 now. You still have those... Good God, how many was it? Shields, 1, so you've got 5 essentially.
We need it with 6 successes.
You've got 5 momentum. If you spent 2 of those momentum, you could get the shields back up fully on the Guicha, and you'd still have 3 left over to put in the momentum pool.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, definitely.
Do it.
Matt's over here
added
like, why?
back, shields are up. So, on board the Guicha, Hopkins goes, so, yeah, Gerkow, get us some shields back, you know, the way they usually do. Pull power from the warp engines and throw them into the shields, at which point Gerkow's like, yeah, I could do that. But I read one time that if I do this on a Klingon ship, it starts routing power from other places. Hopkins for a moment is like, no, this is a Klingon ship, you don't... Whoa. The shields just go right back up to full strength. Hopkins isn't sure how Gerkow did that. But power just came shooting through the shield emitters and just raised them right back up again.
With a spare loo roll and some sticky back plastic. That's how she did.
Alright.
She just dove under
Now
the
Hopkins might want to abandon the ship.
Get out of here, Gerkow. I've got to do my hero thing. Sadly, Gerkow just used sticking it to the man, so... not going anywhere, Hopkins. Well, that's up to you, of course, but... Alright, are we continuing with this theme of of not letting me do anything?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Imagine over here like, I have so many plans.
Cool. Well, you know, if you're willing to keep spending the momentum to keep doing these plans, then go for it.
Do we want to dampen it again? Because the torpedo shot didn't really do all that much. Because if it loses power, it can't do a whole lot.
Right. So obviously, from a tactical sense, what you've learned is that the Gwich'ar is pretty small, and this other ship is so damn huge that it has just shrugged off the Gwich'ar's assault, attack. Whereas with the combs, you used torpedo. The thing with torpedoes is they're usually more advantageous to use a torpedo to strike a ship when its shields are down, because a torpedo's strength lies in its ability to do massive amounts of damage to a ship that's got no shields. So in this instance, it seems the better option would maybe be to use the phaser arrays to bring the shields down, or anything else to bring the shields down first, and torpedoes are then a kind of a means of doing damage to the ship when its shields are out.
How many of you guys played Faster Than Light?
Yeah.
That's like gospel there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yes, exactly, very similar ethos.
I'd say we seize initiative to blast it with the dampener again.
Okay, so 2 momentum go out. Who is using the initiative? It's gonna have to be Garrow or Stop.
What's the roll? It's probably going to be Garrow, isn't it?
And it's going to be the control engineering check, yeah. So.
Yeah, Garrow. And he's got determination. I don't know if you can do any focuses.
Not really. Garrow isn't what we call much of an engineering guy.
But he does have 2 Legion of Honors. Ooh.
He does have 2 Legion of Honors. I'm pretty sure he's already spent one of them, due to a bit of a whoops that happened at the beginning part of the first session of our episode.
So he has 1 Legion of Honor.
So he has 1 remaining. Nevertheless, Garrow's turn. If you're using the dampener, then it's difficulty 4 now. I think. Wait a minute, that doesn't ring right. 2, 3, 4. No, I'm right. Because you are utilizing the same department basically a second time, so the difficulty goes up by 1. But it's Garrow. He hasn't spent any of his determination.
That gives us 2. Means he needs to roll. Because he's engineering 3. That's still quite.
Still fairly decent.
Anything else he can do?
Strong par do. Both when threatened.
Oh, we do feel threatened. Yeah, can we use that to reduce it to 3? Strong par. As we're
Strong par is whenever you attempt a task to resist being coerced or threatened. So this isn't a social combat at the moment, I'm afraid. This is a martial combat.
Yeah, it's security. Yep. Shall we do that then? Because we can steal a momentum and a determination to roll for it, and then in an emergency Legion of Honor, and if not, 2 bonus momentum to spend on blasting it again.
So then I started blasting.
Go for it.
Good lordy lorks.
Alright, who's rolling for Garrow?
Who hasn't rolled in a bit? Chris!
Hello.
You can be Garrow. Control and engineering.
Control and engineering.
And what are we doing? We're also spending... Were we spending an extra momentum and a determination? Mark, remind me of your plan.
Oh, sorry, yeah, it was extra determination and a momentum, so it was technically 2. So you roll
Chris,
one more.
where it says reroll results, press that
yes,
and roll only 1.
And
Cool.
yeah,
Am I using any determinations then? Sorry.
Yes, as well, please.
yes.
So we'll count the 6 and the 19, and whatever you re-roll also goes in.
Boom.
Oh,
6 and a 1. So that's 4 successes overall.
With
I
Legion
said
of
you
Honor?
needed how much?
4.
2, 3, 4. So you've hit the nail on the head.
With his last Legion of Honor to blast it harder.
Legion of Honor, gain 2 bonus momentum on a successful task, which may not be saved. That's an interesting one.
Because it gives you
2
What does it
bonus. It gives you 2 bonus momentum, or ignore. Okay, so what did you just do? You just fired. So that's going to give you 2 bonus momentum to utilize. Rather than saving, it's going to go straight to rolling 14 challenge dice.
Ooh.
Oh, blimey. 14 challenge dice.
Yes, please. A lot of challenge dice. And there were 4 effects. So, 14 successes minus its resistance of means it takes 8. Ooh, that's interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, well, and how many? 1, 2, 3, 4 of those? Its power rockets down again, but this time it takes a hell of a walloping on its shields. And also, because you fired a directed energy beam at it, the ship rocks from taking over... Was it 5? Yeah, 14 minus 6 is 8, so that's definitely over 5. So this thing took a breach. So your sensors... So both the Gweacher and the Combs' sensors indicate that the black ship took a structural integrity hit from so many of its power nodes overloading. It also lost a good degree of power. Well, crikey. That was quite the hit. You now have 0 momentum, so now you can't stop me from having another go. So, finally! It's only taken nearly an hour for me to get here, but that's fine. That has to be the most incredible tactical expenditure of momentum I think I have ever seen. So, however this turns out, that was stupendous, guys. That was nice. Okay, so what am I going to do? It's going to be this guy next. Ooh, now you've left me with an interesting situation. I really need to do this, don't I? So, that's going to be just myself. Just myself. Boink, boink, boink. Let's see what I do. That's not bad. That's 2. I think that's what I needed. Yep. So, point of power is regained. I'm going to spend 2 threat to up that by 2 more. Right, one of you gets to go now. But when I say one of you, what I mean is Dr. Sot, Lian Zhang, Zon Vagor, Ensign Girani, Ensign Kenson.
I'm not saying we should scan it, but...
I'm wondering if we should scan it, because I'm not sure what else I can really do. And like,
How
usually-
shields are like,
In a combat situation, the Doctor would usually be the last one to go. Because if your ship takes any hits, then it's possible that some of the crew might get injured, and there is a special sickbay action that the Doctor can take, which is if a ship has suffered one or more breaches during a scene, a character in sickbay can choose a single department, like engineering, con, whatever, or weapons, and you make a medicine task, and with a difficulty assisted by the computer, the ship's computer, you can allow anyone that uses that department on the ship to re-roll a dice as to represent you getting crew back up and running into that area. But Dr. Sott isn't on the combs at the moment, but at least his assistant. That's a good point. Where is Nurse? Let's see. Nurse Uro.
Nurse Uro.
Let's put Uro on there.
Do we want the combs to take a maneuver into an attacking position that would make it easier to use the phasers on the black ship, or do we just want to fire on it?
That's a good point. Do you want Lieutenant Commander Lian Zhang to make a helm action, pardon me, to maneuver the ship into closer, or
She does have precise invasion as well.
evasive action would allow... precise evasion requires the expenditure of 2 momentum.
We have
Damn it.
the flight controller.
So a flight controller can perform helm maneuvers like making an attack pattern run, or an evasive action pattern, or can simply move the ship from one position to another. That doesn't really require much of an action, but because of the gravitational waves it currently does. So, up to you. Tactically speaking, the closer the combs get, the easier it will be to fire phasers. Using an attack pattern will make it easier to hit the opponent. But obviously, doing an evasive action makes it harder for the opponent to hit you.
I think right now we probably should do it. If we do have them getting closer, do the evasion.
They're not moving. They can't move. They've been not only do they have a
Yeah, I'm talking about it for them. If they try to shoot the combs, it'll be harder for them to shoot it.
I'm not too worried about the combs. It's got better shields.
On the other hand, I almost think now's the time to be aggressive because, like, we have the health and they don't. We can probably take a hit or two.
But the phasers have increased difficulty due to the range, which is why I was thinking about making them maneuver first.
So bringing the
Or
combs
stay
in
on-
closer whilst making an attack pattern?
But
Card maneuver.
Well, quite. You can attempt the Picard maneuver, but I'm going to tell you now that is going to suck 3 power out of the engines.
Maybe not.
The Riker maneuver.
Straddle a chair. Okay.
Yeah. The second best option.
So if we go into an attack pattern maneuver, do we still fire? Or
Yeah.
is it just...
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Well,
Let's attack with phasers.
yes and no. It
Oh.
means your next attack will be made that much easier when you
But
do
the
an
first
attack. When you do an attack pattern.
But in this one turn, can we...
Well, because
either move
your
or
tactical
attack.
officer has been and gone, you'll essentially be using an attack pattern to set up the next one.
Okay.
So
Very
again,
good
up to
team.
you if that's what you want to go for.
Blast it with phasers or maneuver it?
Oh.
I'm on the fence.
I mean, I'm saying still maneuver it for now.
Okay, I'm hearing a lot of maneuvering, so I'm going to assume that Lieutenant Commander Lian Zhang is going next. Either way, you want to bring the combs slightly closer, yes?
Yep, let's get ready to attack with advantage.
Okay, so Lieutenant Commander Lian Zhang, this is going to point to power as well as you power in the impulse engines. So this is going to be... Okay. Liz, since you were the one who volunteered the evasive maneuver, let's get you to be Lieutenant Commander Lian Zhang. She is doing daring and con. Difficulty 1, assisted by the ship's structure and con. And because it amuses me, Connie, can you do the con?
Do you want to take Lian Zhang's determination? Because we can start building up momentum.
Yeah, propulsion is a science, navigation and art.
Yes. So Connie, if you could be the combs for me, giving us structure and con.
With the focus and propulsion systems.
Yep. Ooh, that was a 20, but it rolled onto a 2. Very nice.
Woo!
Lieutenant Commander Lian Zhang showing just how good she appears to be. The combs fighting a bit against the currents. Actually, that's a good point. The difficulty did go from 1 up to 3, but does Zhang have... No, she doesn't, but she does have flight controls, though. You may use con discipline instead of engineering. Cool. I forgot she could do that. Right, so essentially the difficulty was put up to 3. You got 5, which means you got 2 over and above what you needed, so those go back into the momentum pool, and you now gain the advantage of attack pattern. Dave, name one of your attack patterns. I know you made a list.
I can't remember them.
I believe you listed them in your character notes, so Mark, if you could open the character notes section.
Delta 43.
There you go.
I opened it.
There you go. Delta 40. Attack pattern Delta 43.
And we have enough momentum to seize initiative and fire.
Ow. What I will say in that regard is the only people left are Nurse Uro, Dr. Sott, Chief Zonvagor, Ensign Girani, and Ensign Kenson. Which still makes me laugh.
The dream team.
So any of those could technically seize tactical and fire phases too. But the attack pattern will stick around into next turn because it's setting up your tactical officer's next attack. So you don't necessarily have to make your phaser attack right the hell now.
I mean, let's build up our momentum and then just seize all next round.
Alright then.
Yeah, I'm just afraid that they'll start gaining their power back and getting their shields back rather than attacking us.
There's that, which probably is... I've kind of gotten the whole notion of the absolute paranoia that you guys have got of not letting these guys do anything because they're in such a big, nasty ship. You don't want to lose your ship, so you're trying to prevent them from... You're shutting them down as much as you possibly can. So there's still that option, but you've only got 2 momentum left, and the only people of your crew left to go are Dr. Sott and 1 transporter chief, 2... Well, he's an ops officer at the moment, so a doctor, a nurse, an ops officer, and 2 engineers. None of which are as good at firing phasers or photon torpedoes as the tactical officer.
I mean, if we did go for this, could we get Zonvagor to use his composure as a focus? Because, there's a lot riding on this.
And you wanted Zonvagor to take control of tactical and fire?
If he can be composed about it. What do we think?
I would like to...
He's seen things,
chip
been
away their
places.
shield, but I can see the argument of keeping that momentum there. But we're still going to have to use them at some point.
Yeah. I'm personally in favour of firing now.
Let's fire now.
What do others think?
Dave, opinion? Unmute yourself first, of course.
Yeah, I managed. It's not bothering me as much now. I found a way.
Do you think the momentum should be saved, or do you want to go with the party of use the momentum now to try and shoot them again with one of the engineers or ops officers? I'm not saying use the ops officer or the engineer as ammunition. I'm suggesting they are the ones who actually fire. Just to clarify,
I
you're
would've
not
said-
loading the engineer into the
okay.
torpedo tube.
Oh, I would have gone with like, you know, putting the
No, though,
engineer into
Zonvagor's
the
pretty awesome.
torpedo.
If you fire Zonvagor at them, he's just there doing his Superman as he comes flying out of the torpedo tube. You never know.
In an EVA suit.
No, Zonvagor does not need an EVA suit.
Okay.
No, so
Compose
which
Zonvagor's
side
firing?
do you lie on, Dave? Save it or shoot it?
So it's true. There's not much directive. I mean, not directive.
Honestly, I think we should save it. Perfectly honest with you.
Yeah.
I know everybody's worried that they're gonna get a chance to shoot or they're gonna chance to get power back, but we're doing so well.
Yeah, and if we build the power or momentum up for the next round, we'll see some initiative for like 20 times.
Yeah.
And get rid of all their power.
And we're gonna have everybody else back in the next round.
Yeah. That's
So
Okay.
getting everybody back, you know, getting all our characters back who can do some, you know, nasty stuff. I'd rather save the momentum now and yeah, you know,
Yeah, I'm with you.
what we've done to that ship is you know, I can't use the words, you know, I'm trying to be PG here. So I can't use the words.
You have messed them up, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because we can still fire with Zonvagor, but without using the momentum after they've taken a turn. So I'm with you on that. Save the momentum.
Okay, I'm convinced.
Okay, save it. Righty-ho. Well, luckily for you, you did do some damage to their ship. As a result, they have lost the ability to take an too many actions. So, what am I going to do next? Well, this guy goes next, and let me see. We can't move from our current position, so what we're going to do instead is... Sounds like... I say sounds like... It doesn't sound like anything. Position tasks... Okay. Yep. That wasn't bad. Oh. Plus the ships... Okie dokie. I needed that, which means I get that, and I'm gonna put them both back into that. They have just used their sensors to scan the satellite. Who of your lot's going next? So, you have options. Transporter Chief Zonvagor at the moment is acting as operations officer, so his task could be to regain power to the ship. Otherwise, Kenson or Shirani could be used to try and regain... Actually, no, you can't regain shields, you've got 4 shields. So, they're pretty much twiddling their thumbs at the moment, so they could help regain power as well if they really wanted to. So both basically Kenson and Girani could help Zonvagor regain power to the cones.
Power's not that bad, is it?
No, it's not. But you know, having a full tank is always preferable to having too little. I mean, unless you want to bypass their turn entirely, if you're confident about what you got.
Blast them, is Zonvagor, and use a power to boost it instead of recovering it.
right.
Unless anyone thinks otherwise.
Strike while the iron's hot.
Well, quite interesting. All right then. So Zonvagor is going to be taking control of the tactical station briefly. At which point, Lieutenant Commander Dawn goes, "Hi!" in Klingon, of course. Which means that Zonvagor is going for a control and security role. He doesn't have any foci in shipboard weapon systems, so that's going to go without. But the Holmes does get to assist. So, because this is your idea, Connie, can you be Zonvagor? Chris, can we get you to be the Combs?
Sure
So,
thing.
Zonvagor can't be composed while doing this.
Composure has nothing to do with pressing the buttons and aiming phasers, I'm afraid. But because the attack pattern was used, it will be easier to hit. So, first thing we're going to do is Zonvagor has to roll control and security, and the Combs gives us weapons and security at 1. Now, saying that, actually, Zonvagor does get to roll 3 dice to hit because you said to put extra power into the targeting systems. So,
I was going to say, I can see the power's gone down.
yeah. So Zonvagor rolls 3 dice, whereas the ship still rolls only the 1.
Cool.
Yay. Okay. 4
Oh.
successes. So let's see. Oh, using the attack pattern, the Combs is lined up really nicely, which means that you are now at medium range, which means it's difficulty 2. You lowered it down to difficulty 1. You got 4 successes in total, which means you got 3 over and above what you needed. Those 3 can either be added to damage or can be thrown into the momentum pool.
I'd say momentum because we can. No, there's
Can
no
we
point
do
using initiatives. There's no
Yeah.
point using initiative. Yeah, split.
So you've got 2.
1
so
damage.
One's
2.
damage, 2 into save, okay.
How about that?
Yeah, that
Sounds reasonable. You probably want even numbers in your momentum pool anyway if you're going to be using 2 at a time to seize initiative, so... in that case, Chris, since you were the Combs, find the phaser arrays and fire! Or roll damage, rather, I should say. And
How many
then
damage
roll an
on
extra
dice?
one afterwards.
Whoops.
That's cool.
Now does it re-roll results to roll just the 1 extra?
No, go to open it up and roll one challenge dice. Actually, no, re-roll results would do just as well. Yeah, you're fine. You're quite right.
Thank you.
Okay, nothing on that extra one. So it's all to do with the top one, which is 5 with 2 effects. Now, phaser arrays work quite interestingly in that they have the spread and area, and they also have versatile. That's a good point. Versatile. Weapon, effects and qualities. A versatile attack gains bonus momentum if successful, which it was, and being a Starfleet ship, it has versatile 2, so you actually gain 2 momentum back. So you've got a full momentum pool,
Whoop, whoop.
thanks to using phaser arrays. So, what it also does is spread. So you actually shoot more than once. So the first shot goes in at 5, which since they've since repurposed their ship system so that the vulnerability you got earlier does no longer apply. So the ship just eats that phaser volley, but the second phaser shot goes in at half, which is 2, but plus the extra one, which makes it 3, which means it eats that second one. So once again, the phaser volley goes off, but it just pounds into the black ship's shields. Doesn't seem to do much. The ship's just so big. So it seems your best options here are, if you want to do some sort of damage, you really do need to focus on piling up the advantages first before you shoot. Nevertheless...
Well, do you want to seize the initiative and blast it with the dampening ray? Take momentum and whatever you need.
I am going to spend threat to block that.
Oh.
Because I am doing the same.
Hey, we're making him lose threat.
Yep, but you lose momentum too, because you said you were going to spend it to seize initiative. I've spent 2 threats to seize it back, so...
Do you want to do it again?
You want to do it again?
Then he'll have no threat if he does it again.
I'll have no threat, but you'll have only 2 momentum left. You won't have any momentum left either, actually.
Yeah, we're both.
Oh, it's 4 momentum.
If you spend 2 momentum to seize the initiative, I'll spend 2 momentum to negate it, but then you'll have to spend 2 momentum again to seize the momentum, but to seize the initiative back from me. So we'll be on 0 threat, 0 momentum.
I'm for that.
Yeah.
Because that'll stop him regenerating as much power, because he's been...
Exactly.
Alright, let's do it. Who's next? Uro, Shirani, or Kenson is going to be shooting this time?
Oh no,
or is it going to be Sot using the damper?
I was going to say maybe Sot with the dampener. Because he's got determination if he wants to use it. He can't use composure. None of that. None of those focuses apply, do they?
Not a 1.
Does trauma surgery apply when inflicting trauma?
Have you used your Legion of Honor?
I have not.
Okay, so we've got that in case there's a problem. But if it does work...
Okay, so how do I make this happen?
Okay, let me think. So it's going to be difficulty 3, difficulty 4, difficulty 5. Because this would be the 3rd time you will have used it.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And you've got no momentum to add into that, so it's going to be all Dr. Sot's determination.
Both
and
points,
he's rolling control and engineering.
Control, engineering. Am I using both determination there?
Yeah, God.
That would be your best chance of success, yeah.
Okay, so...
Oh my God.
And how many dice does this translate to then? Sorry.
So that's still 2 dice, and you can actually, that's a good point, you can only use determination once. You can't double check. You can't check that you're using the you can only check the determination button once.
Cool.
So
determination. 2 dice.
2 dice with determination, no focuses, control and engineering. Difficulty 5.
Cool. I'll see you on the other side.
If you get this is going to be monumental. No. So everybody's in a mad scramble going, hit it again! Hit it again! Who hasn't tried it yet? Sot, you try it! And Sot's very much a case of, I'm a doctor, not a whatever the hell this is. Do you want me to... I mean, if you told me you wanted me to hit one so that I could make him fall unconscious, I could punch him in the kidney or something, but if you want me to press the button? Okay, I'll press the button. This one? And yeah, the beam lances off, but fails to actually make contact, I'm afraid.
Could I just use my Legion of Honor to, like, get 2 momentum on a successful task, because it was a successful roll, or does it only count as successful if I
It only counts as a successful roll, and that was under the difficulty needed.
Chance passed. Okay.
So it wasn't 2 extra momentum to earn you the 2 you needed to succeed. No, I'm afraid not. That wasn't how it worked. If you had succeeded, you could have used it to use those 2 momentum to add to the additional damage that the dampening shot could have done. Okay. Can I have my turn now?
Can we skip the others in our list so we
Go straight to the next. Well, I have to do my thing next.
Oh.
So
Okay.
I have
Skip, let's go.
Oh, no.
One more
you interrupted me, interrupting you, interrupting me. So
I get it again.
Yes. So, but this time I finally do get to do something. So this does take a point of power, so you'll be happy with that. I've got no threat with which to add to this, but it is going to be... Do. Ah! How much does it do? How much does it do? How much does it do? Ooh, that's a lot. A phaser beam lances down to the dampening tower, the satellite tower that you've been using to fire this dampening ray out of, and it just streaks down and strikes the tower head on. Which means that I've essentially destroyed your dampening tower. Ba-boom! Those who are in the control room down in the core actually feel the whole thing rock as the explosion takes. But are you giving up the go of everybody else? Okay. That means that I can do one last thing.
Oh, so we...
Yeah, you didn't know I had an extra go, did you?
No.
So, what can a GM do in this case? Ooh. I am forced to wonder.
Alt F4.
Spending a determination. Using... Control and science. Do I have... No, we don't, so it's going to have to go completely on talent with no focus and just a determination. So let's see how we do. That wasn't what you wanted to see me do.
Incidentally, no talent, just focus and determination is the name of my autobiography.
No talent? Rubbish. I don't believe it. Right, so that was 4 successes I just gained. Okay, so something happens and a power surge occurs on the black ship, whereupon a surge of energy goes up out of the energy beam that the black ship is currently projecting outwards. But rather than just going into the anomaly, it funnels back down the beam that you have been siphoning energy out of it. At which point, those of you who are in the satellite core's control rooms watch as all of a sudden the power level starts spiking to dangerous levels, and a number of conduits explode. And since you had upped the power to interesting levels in order to get as much out of it as possible, that has created an overload in a good many of the power systems of the satellite. It's not to the point of being utterly destroyed, but you've now lost control over the... Well, you've actually ceased drawing energy away from the anomaly. The black ship sent some kind of feedback pulse down their energy to come right back at yours and short it out. So, as this happens, the Guicha and the away team and the Combs all get a communication come through. As it comes with visual information as well as audio, so you do get to see, once again, the bridge of the black ship, and just as before, the same very severe-looking Vulcan woman in a lab coat, in a scientist's coat, is standing there on the bridge, glaring down the view screen at you. I would warn you not to interfere, but I know that the time for that is past, so I will simply make one directive clear. Do not interfere with what is going on here. Withdraw. and that she cuts the transmission. So, next turn.
Let's keep shooting.
Off you go.
I have a seedling of an idea.
Mm-hmm.
If this satellite thing is like unsalvageable after that attack, and we were to all, evacuate the thing, could we launch that like a giant demolition ball with the use of tractor beams at the enemy ship?
I had a similar idea.
Hey, if we're launching anything, let me at least do my ramming technique first. As long as Gerkow gets off the ship, because I really don't want to hurt her.
It's still got shields, the black ship. We need to take the shields out before we can ram it.
Well, not necessarily, but yes.
Alright, how do we get off? There's not going to be the interference now, so we can get a transporter lock on the satellite.
Well, Turin does say that if the black ship is allowed to continue what it's doing, then in all likelihood the anomaly is going to grow and start drawing in more, drawing the nearby ships and the satellite in. Perhaps if you wanted to use the satellite itself as a projectile, somebody should remain on the satellite with a transporter lock, so that they could use the power of the satellite itself to maybe create a form of warp bubble around it to decrease the mass.
I volunteer.
Turin volunteers to do that. She's the best one to. She's the one who knows the controls the best.
She's also not to play a character who are expendable.
Well, if you want to think of it that way.
No.
Is she a red shirt?
No, she's a blue shirt.
Alright, so she's not expendable then.
Technically,
like
red shirts are now gold shirts, but we'll get to that at some other point.
I like the idea of the projectile weapon. If we can get off. But leaving behind someone who's going to be skilled enough to actually perform that task, which is either myself or Tavish, and Tavish seemed quite keen as a mad engineer.
You do have.
I was
on,
because okay.
No,
I was to say I would stay with Turin on the ship, give some support. Oh, on the ship, on the satellite. Sorry. Yeah.
Your assistance is most welcome, Lieutenant.
No problem. That's what I'm here for.
If we can get a transporter lock on all of us,
Yeah.
I don't mind staying behind with parent figure, just in case.
So Garrow and Sot are looking to get back on board the Guicha.
I think so, yeah.
Now the difficulty here is the Guicha's going to have to lower its shields in order to transport anybody aboard. But the good news is that, as far as you can tell, the black ship has got two targets here. So if the combs ran interference, maybe it might be able to shield the Guicha from getting hit.
And the Guicha hide behind the satellite.
There's that too, if the Guicha wants to make a maneuver. But it sounds like Hopkins wants to use ramming speed, so...
Okay.
Well, we are running speed, just with a
satellite instead.
with a satellite, so we can save the Guicha.
Way to ruin my fun.
Now,
But you like the Guicha.
the situation is complicated a little bit because these sensors on both the combs and the Guicha detect incoming mass. It seems that the gravitational anomaly that's been going on has been drawing frozen methane shards from the system's Oort cloud. And as such, those frozen methane shards, there's loads of them, some of them small, some of them huge, are now barreling in, being drawn towards the anomaly and its gravitational pull. So you're also very soon going to have a navigational hazard, if not an outright hazard, as these giant balls of ice are now careening in towards the anomaly. Ooh. So, who wants to go first?
Well, we don't want to do too many
Let's get Garrow and Dr. Sot on the Greeter.
That's our turn, though. Because if we can get transport lock to get everyone off in one.
All right. So let's get the combs to run interference then, and then get Garrow and Dr. Sot on the Green Chow. Then use this satellite as a bowling ball.
My concern there is, in between our turn, does the environment change, and does the satellite get hit with those ice shards?
Whatever, we need to do something now, because if we don't, they are going to become a bigger problem than what they are now.
So, what does everybody think?
Or hold on. Or we all transport together once it's done, because then we're not. Then the Greechow's not waiting with its shields down, like for another. Yeah,
I think
for another transport.
we need to strike while the iron is hot at the moment. Because the longer this drags on, the more complicated and difficult it's going to get.
Yeah.
Do we
No.
give up on the satellite? Evacuate the satellite, either to the combs or to the Greecher, and then we use the next turn to do whatever interference or attack on the black ship. Because if we're off the satellite, we're a bit further away from the shards. We've got options to run away or to fight, and we've got two ships.
Tractor beam on the satellite?
Oh yeah, I mean the combs could use the tractor beam.
It's too big, isn't it?
Satellite's pretty enormous. You wouldn't really be able to shift it. The only way you would be able to shift it would be with what Turin said. To create some kind of warp field around it in order to decrease its mass.
But if we decrease the mass, isn't that going to be more susceptible to the gravitational waves?
Any
There's
sort of
that
like,
too.
any sort of sciencey techno-babble thing we could do to like increase the gravity pull of the black ships, so all the ice particles go flying towards them?
That would suggest somehow modifying their warp field to increase their gravitic output rather than reduce it.
Is there a way Tavish can do that
Remotely.
remotely?
Working from home.
If you try it, it would be really difficult. You'd have to essentially hack into another ship's systems at distance, using alien computers, no less. I'm not saying it's impossible, I'm just saying it's probably very difficult. And, let's not forget, you got no momentum.
Yeah, but I have determination.
You do.
We have greatest flexibility if we evacuate the satellite first. It stops the option of using it as a missile. But then we're off it, we're safer, and we've got two ships that can attack, including one that wants to ram.
And you guys all have a better chance on the comm since
Yeah.
you get Tavish can just give you all the power you want on the comms.
So what's the plan then, guys? Final word. Even if the first officer has to take has to dictate what goes next.
I prefer evacuating the satellite. It gives us the greatest tactical flexibility. Because there's going to be turns between, and I'm worried about those ice shards.
Yeah.
Okay, well, in that case, Lieutenant Turin would, at the very least, like the opportunity to grab what she can from this, especially since Phlesc liked the idea of the power core.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Can this satellite? Has this satellite got its own Can it maneuver?
It does not appear so, no, especially since the gravity pull of the... I mean, you don't know for sure. Somebody put this here, because it's an entirely constructed...
Because I was going to say, why don't we just throw this satellite at the anomaly?
There's that too.
If you know, set a course for the anomaly, we get off, and
it's still too tight.
yeah, because
we could use. Can we set up?
okay. I was going to
Go on.
go on.
Oh, so
Well,
I was
no.
going to say, you've got an engineering toolkit.
Yeah.
So you could remotely control it if you set something up.
Yeah, but then I wouldn't be able to control it. It'd be somebody else controlling it, because that's my turn.
We can't seize initiative at the moment.
So, who goes first becomes a very important decision, because it dictates what you're going to do.
In which case, I'd prefer to evacuate. Because then we've got Tavish on the combs to restore power.
Connie, what's
What are you going to say?
I was just thinking, do we still have the anti-grav sled?
Yep.
That's coming with.
Okay, I was just thinking, I guess it's too small to create some kind of, gravity field pulling missile.
Yeah, an anti-grav sled is a very small thing compared to the giant-sized projectiles you're thinking of using. So, if there was a way to dramatically overpower an anti-grav sled to be an anti-grav projector, to move a flipping huge satellite, we're talking about technology far outstripping what you've currently got the potential for. I mean, geez, can you imagine just an anti-grav sled having the power to move a planetoid?
I trust in Tavish.
Yeah, Tavish, your next experiment should be this. Move planets with a sled!
Alright, that's my next science project in the bag.
Why do I have a feeling all of a sudden your station's gonna be moving around and people are gonna be like, why the heck is it moving?
Why? With all I've given you.
Is everyone okay
Yeah.
with evacuating first then?
Yeah, I think so.
Who's best placed on the combs to evacuate?
Well,
Ideally,
the
someone with
first thing that
determination.
has to happen, of course, is somebody has to lower the shields, and Transporter Chief Zonvagor is probably the best person to enact said plan of beaming folks up.
Yep.
Unfortunately, unless of course it's you're beaming to the Gweecha, whichever ship people are getting beamed to has to drop its shields. Now,
The
thankfully,
Gweecha's just
dropping
got
shields
it.
is a minor action, as is
I was
raising.
gonna say, Gweecha has only just got his shields back.
Yeah.
And I'd like to have that one protected. Whatever happens next.
So we're dropping shields on the combs?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so it sounds like Chief Zonvagor is going to be doing that too. Okay.
Plus,
Alright,
this way they can go to the bridge and take back over their stations.
Mm-hmm.
pretty much. Well, I assume that Chief Zonvagor, being a transporter chief, is high enough up the command ladder that when Phlesc goes on an away team, Zonvagor is brought in as like an auxiliary operations officer. So from ops anyway, you have an awful lot of control over most systems of the ship, so Zonvagor can do that. Okay, so for the briefest moment in time then, it's all about timing now. Zonvagor is ready to activate the transporter, but of course the Combs' shields have to come down, which of course will leave it momentarily vulnerable to an attack from the black ship. So what happens is the shields go down, and now Zonvagor has to try and use his transporter expertise to give me a control and engineering task, assisted by the Combs' structure and engineering. So if I can have Liz, if you can be the Combs for me, please. And since this was whose plan was this, actually? Let's go with who hasn't rolled in a while. Mark, go on. Maybe Zonvagor. Put the blame solely on. The hat of blame will be passed to you.
And what's this, sorry?
This is him
what
doing
we're on
control
for
and
Zonvagor.
engineering with a focus on transporters.
And what is the ship rolling?
The ship is rolling structure and engineering.
Nothing I can do apart from roll.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh,
That's another good one. Okay, so a number of things happen all at once. The Combs drops its shields, and all of a sudden a warning alert comes from the tactical station that the black ship is now locking weapons, and they are loading quantum torpedoes, it seems, into their bay. At the same time, the Guichar's maneuvering itself to line itself up for a possible attack, but the away team on the satellite are arranging themselves to get ready to beam up. At the same time, Lieutenant Serin notices that she left her datapad on one of the consoles and moves from her position to make a grab for it. At the same time, the anomaly flares to life, and a bright, dazzling light emanates from it to the point where it even seems to overcome the photo filters over the view screens. And for a moment, everything is kind of paused as this enormously powerful activity just flares to life. At the same time, the Vulcans and the Betazoids on the crew all suddenly grab their heads in pain and double over, screaming, as all of a sudden their minds are flooded by this incredibly powerful telepathic force. As the light from the anomaly starts to fade away, you're forced to do, those of you who can see, are forced to do a double take as you see a pair of enormous hands suddenly reach out from the anomaly. One of them reaches down and snags hold of the satellite. The other reaches out and snags hold of the black ship and starts to draw them both in. At which point Captain Sobek, or whoever's basically actually Captain Sobek can't, because he's currently doubled over in pain and insensate. At which point anybody just goes, Combs, get us out of here! And the transporter chief Zonvagor then initiates the transporter process really, really quickly. The away team feel themselves go all tingly and ethereal as the transporter beam initiates the transporter to take you away. And before long, you realize that you are now back aboard the Combs. But someone's missing. The four who are on the transporter pad realize that Lieutenant Serin didn't transport over with you. At which point, one of you, hopefully, more than likely, taps the communicator saying, Bridge, we've got one less crew member aboard. But the black ship ceases its output of power as it is suddenly wrenched from its position like the satellite. The satellite itself is also pulled by these gigantic hands into the anomaly, and the anomaly, with a bright flash, snaps shut. But that's not all that happens. There's a sudden warning bells and chimes are going off over all your ship sensor systems as you're reading an enormous gravitic wave is exploding outwards from where the anomaly collapsed in on itself, which is now causing basically a bow wave of gravity forces to expand out from the anomaly, and it's going to smash pretty much whatever's in its path. So, the hands, the black ship, the satellite, with Turin still on it, are all drawn into the anomaly, and the anomaly collapses in and goes kaboom. The big chunks of ice that were floating towards this area now stop as the gravitic forces reverse and blow outwards. The Gwicha and the Combs need to angle themselves to get the hell out of here now before that gravitic wave hits. And you have
like
no
two
momentum.
contracts. Do we get any back from our 4 successes?
That's a good point. 4 successes, I think you needed that, so I'm going to give you 2. So,
Let's get out of here.
yes, the comm officers for both the Combs and the Gwicha need to make an emergency task.
Helm control.
Troll and Con from both Lieutenant Commander Lian Zhang and Lieutenant Commander Trasa Hopkins, please. Liz,
Yeah, I'm gonna use my life.
Hopkins. Can I get... Connie, do you want to be Lian Zhang?
Sure.
Okay.
Can I use a determination of never back down as I'm trying to get the heck out of here?
Zhang can also use one of her last determination too, if she wishes. I get Chris to be the Gwicha and Mark to be the Combs to assist with those roles, please. You got your determination back. Alright, 4 from Zhang, 5 from Hopkins, and how many do we get from the Combs and the Gwicha?
So, engines and engineering?
Engines and engineering, yes please.
Boom. So it's just 2.
Go with that. And I'll go with that. That's a lot of 13. So the Gwicha groans a bit as most of its remaining power is shunted into its engines, and Hopkins basically yanks on the stick to reorientate the Gwicha for an escape vector. The same goes for Lieutenant Commander Lian Zhang and the Combs. The Combs' power is drained as it angles its rear nacelles ready for an emergency warp jump, just to get it to a safe distance away from the gravitic wave that's coming your way. And thankfully, with the great many successes both pilots managed to put into that, both ships managed to successfully pull away from the bow wave. There's a moment where you have to face the oncoming hail of frozen methane, but with those successful con tasks, you manage to maneuver yourselves between the larger chunks. So, eventually, you get clear of the bow wave.
Ooh.
Kind of a low silence descends. As you realize that you have survived, the Combs are still intact, as is the Gwicha. But the anomaly is closed. The black ship is gone, and Lieutenant Turin has been also lost to the other side of that anomaly. There's not even a sign that the anomaly was even open. And so, somewhat sadly and suddenly, the crew can make their way back towards space dock, or rather Narendra Station. But after the gravitic wave passes you and you're all borne to safety, the Betazoids and the other telepaths like the Vulcans eventually regain their senses, and both the Councillor and Captain Sobek confirmed that when that big flare of light happened, there was this feeling of an incredibly overwhelmingly powerful mental presence that just flooded outwards. Power the likes of which Sobek and the Councillor and others have never encountered before. It was so overwhelming it nearly rendered them all unconscious. But through it all, once more, Captain Sobek says that he heard, or he felt rather, two words repeated quite dramatically every time. Help us. And that's all that Sobek could discern. So, that brings us to the end of this episode. Bit of a downer, I admit, of an episode resolution, but we still have more questions than we have answers about what's going on here. And whoever or whatever they were up to on the black ship, it's unclear whether or not this was the result they wanted, but one can't imagine a situation where they would have wanted to have been forcefully pulled into wherever it was that aperture went to. Nevertheless, you do have an awful lot of more data now than you had on this ancient alien civilization and their technology, and you did for a brief moment in time get some very hands-on experience with some very powerful and advanced alien technology, but it seems to have come at the cost of a crew member. So, yes.
I am not putting that alien technology in my head, I promise.
Liar.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Totally
case-
not docked the Grisha and then just start painstakingly looking over the ship.
Well, yeah, the good news is with the Grisha you didn't actually suffer any... Or did you? I think you suffered maybe some minor structural damage, but that was it. For the most part, it looked like they were aiming at first to take your the Grisha's shields out, which they did. And it seemed that the ease with which the black ship took out the Grisha's shield seems to have frightened you all into never let them have a turn again!
Have you ever
are
had
we-
the crew do that?
I don't think anybody has run the seize the initiative to the sheer extent that you guys just did, no. It was very much a case of do not let Matt have a turn, do not let Matt have a turn, do not let Matt have a turn! So, I'm kind of proud of that, actually. I'm very proud of you guys for going straight for the overall paranoia of we cannot let them do anything. If we give them even a single chance, they might do something nasty to us. So,
Are we going to be... Oh, sorry.
go on. No, go on.
I was going to ask it. Are we going to be going back to the Narendra Station?
Narendra Station is your port of call. Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go and... I need to go and have lessons.
Well, you can't leave me there, dude.
Okay.
Come on.
I got
Elucidate.
I got reprimanded.
Oh yes, you did, didn't
Oh
you?
yeah.
But that was last time, so you know.
Yeah, I got to go and do lessons.
Yes, you do. On how not to comport yourself in a first contact situation.
No.
It got us something, didn't it? Oh no, that's the point. Oh, okay.
Technically, yes, it did get you something, but technically at the same time, you might not have been the wisest course of action according to regulations, but nevertheless.
I can just see Hopkins and Tavish are constantly getting reprimanded, and then somebody else gets reprimanded for the first time. Your first time.
First time in the break?
This is my first. This is my first reprimand.
Yes. Which shows you how much latitude and leeway the captain has given you.
Yes. And this is why we're friends. This is why I got 2 favors.
Basically, this is what I was thinking.
Yes, indeed. So,
there's a reason why Hopkins is technically not a captain right now.
yes, when that day comes, if it comes, we shall see what happens. But until then, speaking of, yes, so as a result of folks being very much not available next Sunday, we will not be here next Sunday. So that brings me to the 14th of April. Everybody still available for then?
Should be good.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
We're
That-
checking, that should be fine.
That will mark episode 15, which technically is the last episode of season 1 of the Adventures of Star Trek Combs. So it's going to be something of a special episode. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. But nevertheless, yes, it's the last episode of season 1. So after this is done, we're going to be going straight into season 2. And who knows what's going to be going on in that season? We shall see.
Ooh. Yeah, everybody go, ooh.
Ooh.
Of course, it depends on whether or not Paramount gives us money for another season or not. We'll have to see.
Don't worry.
If my math
I've
is
got
correct,
this.
I get a major milestone from this episode.
Yes, indeed. We'll get to that in a few moments. But for the meantime, unless folks have got anything they want to add, what their characters might be up to, stuff like that, we are going to be dealing with your science project, which has reached its conclusion. Dave?
Yes, I was going to say, I will be sending you names I will be calling in favours from over the next couple of weeks.
Likewise, Liz, I haven't forgotten about Hopkins' science project either. That may or may not be happening as the first episode of Season 2. So stay tuned for that. Until then, I will say thank you very much for playing, guys. I hope you enjoyed that episode.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely.
We
Yeah,
got so close to knocking out that ship.
Yeah. If you hadn't have improvised that weapon, who knows what would have happened. But you did. You did the very Starfleet thing. Try and find a way around it using science. Nevertheless,
I wonder
thank
who
you
I'm
very
going to
much.
gain favor with next.
Well, that's entirely your decision to make. But that's for downtime, which we'll get to in a moment. In the meantime, for everybody who was watching, thank you very much for doing so. If you liked us enough to stick around, then as I said, we're not here next week, but the week after we'll be starting on the final episode of Season 1, and as a result, it should be something with some nice callbacks. And after that is the beginning of Season 2. So we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, if you like this and you're watching this on YouTube, then please consider giving us a like, just so that it helps not only us, but also other people who do anything to do with Star Trek, and also to do with actual plays of role-playing games. Because it, of course, goes to appeasing our Lord and Master, the algorithm. All hail the algorithm. So, yes, the Combs group will see you in 2 weeks' time, as will I, and in the meantime, I ask that you all do like the Vulcans do, and I'm not talking about getting stuck on an alien ancient satellite and being drawn into another subspace realm. No, I'd rather you didn't do that. I would rather you all actually live long and prosper, and to engage in infinite diversity in infinite combinations. We will see you the next time, folks, for Season 1's final episode. Going into Season 2 will be very interesting as a result. See you, folks. Take care of yourselves. Treat each other with respect. Hailing frequencies are now closed.